What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my circle, where we have real conversations about real life issues. And today we're going to talk about my life after the game of football. Because recently somebody asked me, did I miss playing the game of football? And after thinking about it and just thinking about over the years how much time I put into the game, honestly, I do miss it. There was so much that football had to offer me while I played, and just so many experiences that I probably wouldn't have had otherwise. And it just took me to so many places, include here to South Dakota, where I met my now wife. So when I think about it in those terms, I do miss it. But on the same coin, like, I'm honest enough with myself to admit, like, as a player, football took me as far as it could take me. And when I decided to walk away from the game, it wasn't because I didn't love the game. I hated the business side because I think that got in the way of my passion for it. But at the same time, that was part of that experience for me to really dig into my true purpose. So like I said, when I decided to walk away after winning my third championship, like, there was a void that I knew that no matter how many championships I won or how many rings I put on my finger, those things could not fill that void. And that's when I decided to get honest with myself about who I am, where I am in life, and where I see myself going within the next 5 to 10 years. And I just knew football wasn't going to be that vehicle that could take me to those places, because I want to work on the things outside of football, outside of the game. Things like becoming a better father, becoming a husband, becoming an overall better man. No matter how much I studied the football playbook, it was not going to be the vehicle that led me to those things. So I needed to pick up a different playbook that was going to allow me to grow in those areas. And I understood, like, the game of football, it has to always come first, because you're competing at a high level with guys that, for me, the reason I loved it is, for one, I need structure, I need a goal, and I need a community to reach those goals with. And football provided those things with me. But at the same time, my priorities had shifted, and I knew I couldn't commit to football the way that I wanted to, because I had these other things that I wanted to prioritize that had nothing to do with the game of football, but deserved and required that same amount of attention and focus. So when I decided to walk away, like, for me, it was just making that decision. I was tired of performing for applause, and I was ready to start living for my purpose. I was tired of always going in circles, making the same decisions and mistakes in the past, and I was ready to move forward into everything that I knew God had created me to be. And it was more than just a football player. So for me, I understood, in order to get outside of this box of expectations that people had put me in as a player, I literally had to myself remove myself from that box. And that required of me walking away from the game of football and getting serious about the things that, I wanted in life. And part of that was just investing in the things that God invested in me. Like, he invested a certain leadership quality within me. Like, playing football, I used to always tell people I felt like that was my purpose and my calling. But as I matured and the further I distanced myself from the game, I learned, like, football wasn't my calling. Football was a tool that God used to sharpen and mold and equip me for my calling. So think about it in terms of football. Like, as a quarterback, you have to be able to get one play, communicate that one play to 10 other guys, and put them in the right position to win that one specific play. So for me, when I learned those things, like, okay, growing up, people would tell me I was shy, I was quiet, I'm an introvert. And at the same time, I'm playing quarterback, where you can't be shy, you can't be an introvert. You have to be a leader. You have to have a certain amount of confidence in yourself, and you have to be able to lead people and communicate with people in a way that was going to require you to elevate your game just a little above the other people, because you are called on as the leader of that offense, many times the leader of that team. So for me, it was always this struggle between being the guy off the field and being the guy on the field. And for me, like I said, when I decided to walk away and fill that void, it was the void was missing with the guy that was off the field. Like, I struggled personally because, like, some of the things that, I saw on the football field, the qualities, I wasn't seeing it in my life outside of the game. So I wanted to work on myself outside of the lines. I wanted to know who am I when the helmet comes off. What is my purpose? What are my goals? Who do I want to become? What are the things that I want to work on, and what can take me there? So when I decided to get serious, for me, the first thing I did was get in different groups, people that, want the same things that I want, people that want to be better fathers, people that want to be better husbands, people that want to be better men overall, and also people who want to deal with some of the issues that, as guys, we compartmentalize things, we put it up here in this box, lock that box up with a key, and throw the key away. Like, for me, I want to put those things on the table and deal with them, because I had come to understand, like, what you run from stays with you the longest. what you don't repair, you will repeat and you will pass down to your kids. So for me, I wanted to go to work on those things. And I knew in order to do that, like I said earlier, a football playbook was not going to allow me to do those things. I needed to pick up a different playbook that was going to put me in position to win in those specific areas. And that's when I did. That's when I found the Every Man is a Warrior discipleship course. You know, that course didn't make me a better man. My focus, my vulnerability, and me putting the same amount of energy that I put into football into that course made me a better man. And like I said, it allowed me in a healthy environment along with guys that I knew that I could trust with some of the issues that I was struggling with, and they wasn't going to go out and tell other people about those issues. We was going to be able to do that in a healthy way without judgment and without judging each other based on things that we had done and some of the things that we wanted to overcome. You know, it's easy for us to say that we've changed and we've done this and we've done that, but when other people see that fruit of the work that you put in, like my wife, when she see the work and she's saying like she see the changes and she's telling other women, other wives about the changes and recommending that discipleship course to those women, like for me, that just was a confirmation that I was on the right path and I was doing the right things and I was putting myself in the right environments, because guys, we need to heal too. Like we go through things and we always think we should be strong. Well, sometimes being strong is admitting when you need help. Sometimes being strong is walking away from an environment that's hindering you and keeping you stuck repeating those same patterns and going in circles instead of moving forward into the man that God has created you to be. So like I said, I knew I needed a different environment and I needed a different playbook, and that's what I decided to pick up, and it helped me, and it just kept me on that course of just being real and vulnerable with myself and understanding like you're not shooting for perfection. I would never be the perfect man. Like I have too many flaws, but at the same time, I know God's grace is going to be sufficient for whatever I need. If I admit my struggles, if I work through my struggle, if I put these issues on the table and deal with them in a healthy manner, then I will overcome these issues. You may have to face it down the road, but at the same time, like you're going to see it from a different perspective. You're going to react differently. You're not that same person, so you're not going to make those same decisions and mistakes. And then you can pass down those lessons not only to your kids, but you can pass it down and help other men as well, because we're all struggling, whether we want to admit that or not. We all have garbage and we all have junk, and we all carrying around that junk, pretending like everything is all well and okay when it's really not. For me, it's about dealing with that junk, putting it on the table, sorting through what you need to carry around and what you don't. And that's when I realized like I was just carrying around things that's been building up for years and years, wondering why like football can never make me happy. Football can never fill that void. Even though you're winning championships, you still feel empty. You still feel like there's something more to life. And you know, just having that feeling at like when I should be on a mountaintop just gave me perspective, or just like so many people who are going through similar things that, you know, they look like everything is all well within their soul, but when you really sit down and have a real, honest, vulnerable conversation, then you realize, well, you're just like me, because I struggled and I didn't want to tell anybody because I didn't want people's view of me to change. I wanted them to validate that I am a great guy because I play football. I am a great guy because I'm a leader in this. I am a great person because I'm this. And it's like, no, like I said, we need healing too. We was kids once, and like I always say, like kids are fragile. And many times we get cracked and mishandled by people that didn't know how to handle us because they was mishandled by people who didn't know how to handle them. So for me, understanding like you can no longer stick to that's just who I am and how I was raised. At some point, you have to be sick and tired of putting up with that's just who I am, and you have to do something about it. And that's what I did. I did something about it, and part of that was walking away from the game of football. And I still love football, and like I said, I played football all of my life. So with my kids, I didn't want to force them into what I did. I didn't want them to be a better version of me. I wanted them to be the best version of themselves. So for me, if they want to play football, they want to play sports, that's fine. If they don't, that's fine as well. I want them to be the best version of themselves. But like I said, they're into sports now and they're coming to it on their own. So for me, it's an even greater feeling because I'm not forcing you to be something that you don't want to be. This is something that you've took on by yourself. You're interested in it. And if you decide to walk away from it later, you know it's going to be a decision that you made. Dad didn't force it on you because he did it. So for me, that's a great feeling as well, because now I get to be even more involved in coaching them and just being around the game even more. Even though it's at the younger level, for me, that still brings me great joy because I know what football made me. I know the qualities and characteristics and the character traits that it instilled in me. And I know it's going to do the same for my son and some of the other kids that I may get to coach who are around that same age group. So do I miss the game? I do, but at the same time, I knew the guy off the field needed as much attention and validation as the guy on the field, and I wasn't going to depend on anybody else to give that guy attention and validation. I decided to take that into my own hands and go to work on myself, deciding to invest in myself, deciding to invest in what God invested in me to become everything that he created me to be. Because, you know, he'll open the door, but he's not going to walk through that door for you. So when I decided to walk away from the game, like, yes, he provided the resources, but it was up to me to take advantage of those resources, to get into these discipleship courses, to put myself in different environments, to get in marriage groups with my wife, to learn what a healthy marriage looked like, to get in healthy environments where there are healthy conversations about talking about issues that you dealt with, to get in healthy environments so that you can talk about things that you've struggled with or you continue to struggle with, so that you can break that hold that thing have over you. So for me, I didn't want my kids fighting the same battles that I had to fight. And the only way for that not to happen was for me to address the issues, like I said, unlock that box, pull them issues out, put it on the table and deal with it. And understand, like, that is the only way to move forward. That is the only way for you to equip them to be able to handle the battles that they're gonna face along the way. Because like I say all the time, like, we can't keep our kids immune to what's going on in culture and immune to what's going on in life, but we can teach them to live above it. And many times that's going to come from your personal testimony and your experience, and using the bad decisions that you made, the mistakes that you made, learning from those things and equipping your kids with it so they can move forward in a healthy way and make better decisions than you did. So I am grateful for the game of football and everything that it did and provided for me. But at the same time, I am thankful for the season that I am in. I am thankful for the decision that I made to invest in what God invested in me, and to go to work on myself and to deal with some of the issues that I had put up here and locked away, and just putting those things on the table and deal with it. So like I said, my kids don't have to fight the same battles that I had to fight, and they can move forward in a healthy manner and just see what a healthy family dynamic look like, a healthy marriage look like. So I am grateful for everything that football did for me, the opportunities that it provided, the places that it took me, the people that I met, just all the experiences. Because like I said, they played a major part in me becoming the man that I am today. But it was also the work after football that I've put in that also contributed to me becoming an even better version of myself when I walked away from the game. So thank you guys for listening. Remember to follow me on Facebook at Martavius Young, Instagram at Martavius Young, and TikTok at Martavius Young. And remember to like and subscribe. Have a blessed day, y'all.